Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night Randomizer. In this episode,
things are falling.
We have entered the entrance of the castle. Now, a lot of people will wonder why we're not actually hearing what are the original mixes for a lot of famous Castlevania tracks, specifically like Bloody Tears entrance or there's a lot of relatively famous Castlevania music pieces, and the reason is this isn't actually made by Konami, so they don't have access to those. Instead, we get off-brand versions of those tracks, which are actually still pretty good.
So how is the developer related to Konami, the creator of Castlevania?
Igarashi was the grandfather of a majority of the more successful Castlevania properties from the 90s and 2000s, specifically Symphony of the Night and all of the other what we have come to define as Igavanias, which are effectively Metroidvanias, but developed by Igarashi himself.
It is good that the people who came up with the idea still have the brains to develop new ones.
Brains, yes, but not permission, which is why this isn't published by Konami.
Kitty.
Yay! Ghost still has Alcahest. So what is new in the world of Cloud as we are attempting to... I think what we're doing here is technically actually doing the Morte side quest and killing 5 of those for, is it Lindsay? I think it's Lindsay.
Well, nothing like getting one's ass kicked in a game in order to learn how to be better. Because I think I opened 2-0 against my buddy last night, and then I finished the night 0-6. So,
wow,
learned a lot.
What were you playing?
And well, so this exactly is why before we started today, I was talking to you. Hey, which of these cards do you like the best, Mr. Gradad? And we decided Yeheni's Expertise. Yes, Yeheni's Expertise. I'm not sure who Yeheni is, but I'm sure that she is a very pleasant and legendary character indeed.
Yay, we made the jump.
Culverin.
For the record, I totally should have gone up on that pathway to go check things, but this is a much older. This is not only a much older version of the randomizer, but this is one of my first randomizer runs that I actually did. So,
whew.
Feed die.
Talk about rolling the dice.
Miriam specifically, who is our main character, is effectively the best mage out of any of the characters that we've ever had in Igavanias. But here we are entering the Garden of Silence. Expect Garden of Silence, especially if you're running the randomizer, to be your first major block point, because in order to normally get through the entirety of Garden of Silence, you need to get a boss soul that we will be, I believe, confronting in this part actually. Let's see, we got the Shadow Tracer. I hate Shadow Tracer. Shadow Tracer allows you to summon up a doppelganger clone of yourself, and it will copy your normal attacks. But the problem is, it is so ridiculously expensive to keep out that it's never fucking worth it.
Well, they had high hopes for it. They did not anticipate, though, that capacity would be an issue.
I actually did not have that high hopes for, because a majority of the doppelganger type effects that happen in action RPGs like a Bloodstained usually aren't freaking worth it. Like, for example, the doppelganger style from Devil May Cry 3, I have never gotten good use out of. It eats through your devil trigger like crazy, and it doesn't actually do all that much more damage, even if you manage to desync it properly.
I was just going to comment on the aesthetic atmosphere and the moon in the background, but I agree that yes, that overpowered shit that looks spectacular and does, you know, a large amount does not necessarily accomplish the rate equation satisfaction. Yes, the rates at which things are consumed to deal damage and points and such.
We got the Valkyrie dress, one of the final pieces of armor in the game. The Valkyrie dress specifically is amazing because although it doesn't have the best defensive anything in the game, it also increases our luck. It is part of a full 3-piece set of Valkyrie gear. If I really want, well, no, can I actually cut this now? Apparently not. Yeah, the moon isn't actually in the foreground for me to interact with.
Ah, I see. One of those. It's not really that Luigi's Mansion did that, as I recall. It wasn't really the moon. The ghosts were just screwing with us.
Well, Gremory is technically hiding in there, just not at the moment. Because this is a defeat Jeeble Seed, we won't actually be showing off well, like half the castle.
I'm dead. I was supposed to be quiet so you wouldn't hear my arrow swing.
Barbados' normal shard in this game is actually the true arrow shard, and I love true arrow. We probably won't be showing it off though. But we did just get Summon Hellhound, which is almost objectively the best conjure shard in the game. It does an absurd amount of physical and fire type damage, and it hits in a relatively large box in front of Miriam.
Fried fish.
It's not my go-to conjure shard. To be perfectly honest, my go-to conjure shard is actually throwing axe. But I don't think that I've actually decided on that at this point in my Bloodstained history.
Right. Oh, you got me.
And here we are coming up onto our second boss, even though it's technically a tutorial boss.
Tutorial. Well, the second tutorial boss.
Nah, I don't qualify Vepr as a tutorial boss. I really don't, because Vepr is a bit too hard to be a tutorial boss. Hey, it is Zangetsu. Those of you that have played Curse of the Moon might recognize Zangetsu as the main character of both Curse of the Moon 1 and 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's not much of an attacker, but boy,
oh no,
he
is actually a very difficult opponent the first time you're playing through the game. The
humanoids usually are.
The whole reason why I'm doing so well in this fight is specifically because we are significantly more overpowered than we're supposed to be right now with the Zangetsudo and the Valkyrie dress, as well as the fact that it took me 10 to 15 attempts on my first run just trying to kill the actual boss fight against Zangetsu, which is much later on.
Yes, we have arrived at the Father Gascoigne section of Bloodstained. You better goddamn know what the fuck you're doing by this point in order to defeat this boss.
Well, the thing is that Father Gascoigne is relatively early on in Bloodborne, whereas Zangetsu 2 is one of the last bosses in the game you'll fight.
So, if I wanted to treat my gamer like an idiot, I would put a reminder. Actually, no, 3 reminders in the Hunter's Dream, and they are the following. Press L2 to use your visceral attack in order to counter-stag and critical hit opponents. Second reminder. Be absolutely certain that you're using your gun in order to open up the opportunity to stagger, get critical hit, and probably kill. Third reminder. Did you try using your gun yet? We promise it's really effective.
Yeah, but in order to do the parry timing with the gun, it's relatively precise. Alright, so in order to progress this side quest along, you have to give Benjamin a Waystone. Waystones are our teleport crystals. They will allow us to go back to the village whenever the hell we want, assuming that we actually have them. It's why I was supposed to buy a bunch of Waystones on our first trip to the shop instead of the healing items that I bought, because I don't really need the healing items until we get up to Bloodless, but I don't even think that we're going to be doing the Bloodless fight in this run. We might, I don't
Bloodless.
know. Hidden Wall for another capacity up. Capacity up, what that does is it increases the amount of raw ammo that you can have for your firearm weapons. Yes, there are firearm weapons in this game, and they do actually consume ammo in order to have most of their attack value mean anything. Thing is, I don't actually like the firearms unless you're actually using ammo. They're just not actually all that good. but they actually have a normal firing state where that does not consume ammo. That just doesn't do enough for me.
So it's like the Resident Evil knife. It has infinite ammo, but it's not very effective against opponents.
Like that, except the gun is except most of the guns travel at full screen. So,
I'm trying to remember the last game that had. Oh yeah, that's right. It was actually Metal Gear Solid 5, as I recall. That just for some reason gave you a pistol with unlimited ammo because it predicated on every other weapon being more powerful than the pistol. So you didn't want to use the pistol all the time, even though it had infinite ammo.
Doom 2016 had that as well, but I actually like the pistol in Doom 2016. A fully charged headshot will take down a majority of the smaller enemies.
Well, who doesn't like a gun that has infinite ammo?
Well, apparently developers, because they always happen to have a significant caveat alongside infinite ammo.
That it breaks the game.
No, having infinite ammo on a weapon usually does not break that weapon. For example, even if the energy pistol from Quake 2, which is on my mind because I'm finishing up the Quake 2 playthrough, editing and production as we're going through this run. Hey, I found this hidden wall. Woo. Another best, yep. But even though the energy pistol has infinite ammo, it's giving it a damage boost wouldn't actually break anything, specifically because, well, rather a small damage boost wouldn't actually break anything because it already takes 2 to 3 shots for it to kill any of the smallest enemy types. And honestly, the energy pistol, the main reason why you would want to use it over the normal shotgun is because it has actually infinite range. Its projectile is relatively slow moving, so it's not guaranteed to actually hit anything. But its infinite range means that you can, effectively kill anything in the game with it.
Right. It's the game's way of saying, giant kitty.
Yep.
Just because you run out of ammo and you have demonstrated you suck at this game does not mean you should be shut down and might as well be sent to a game over screen.
Right.
They give you a fair chance at continuing.
Although in Quake 2, if you're running out of ammo, something is drastically wrong with you.
Yeah.
Millionaire's Key. That opens up one of the 3 sub bosses. I don't think we'll be showing off Millionaire's Bane. Hi, Todd.
A demon.
A demon.
I'm a good killer barber. Butchers and
The demon barber of Fleet Street.
That's the reference here, but he's not nearly as evil.
Sweeney Todd. He died about 37 years ago.
If I could take them off, I wouldn't be cursed. Duh.
Doy. Oh my
Now,
God, his name is Todd.
I recorded this before the Color Wheel free DLC came out, so unfortunately I don't have the ability to adjust Miriam's hair. Well, I can adjust Miriam's hair a bit, but I can't actually adjust her costume. The other issue is that since I'm already having the Valkyrie dress doesn't actually have the ability to be augmented by the Color Wheel, so we can't use Todd's services anymore.
I see. Well, this has been a wonderful reference to what became a very charming, although quite graphic, gruesome, and horrifying at times 2007 comedy/horror/musical starring Johnny Depp.
You do know that is based on a book, right?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was based on a okay, and then the book made it to the screen. Ooh, we get to customize.
A little bit.
Red hair, nice. And then they adapted it to Broadway or whatever. I wonder if Broadway actually ran. I doubt it.
Unfortunately, because we chose the stupid long hairstyle, Miriam's hair is going to be forever flopping out because this game uses a similar engine that a lot of post 2010 games use when it comes to capes and such, meaning that her hair and scarf are constantly flitting about all over the place.
Right, and then previously it was a hairpiece that was holding down her locks.
No, it was the fact that she had relatively long hair that was shoulder length, whereas this goes all the way down to the flat of her back.
Imposter Todd's.
Not imposter Todd's, killer barbers. Todd is cursed to be a killer barber, so.
Oh, so he's the barber that's explaining how all the other barbers came to be. I kind of
no,
like
he's the barber. He's the barber that decided to go against his monstrous nature and resume being a barber instead of a monster.
He decided that his craving for handsome, delicious hair, especially when viewed from a distance, was preferable to human flesh.
And in the next episode, another boss.
Stained glass windows.